And I
Sure,
have kept this
no
small
issue.
bell here. So once 2 minutes before the end, I will bell. Please don't mind. So over to Ritesh sir. Please take us forward.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back to this third session of third day of 1 week online STTP on domains of academia, research, and teaching learning. Uh, in this third session, it's my privilege to introduce our next speaker, Professor Dr. Purna Shankar, who is from ICEM Pune. She is currently working as professor at Indira College of Engineering and Management, Pune. She's having 29 plus years of experience. In terms of publication, she has published 5 patents in the area of artificial intelligence, machine learning, and IoT. In terms of research guidance, ma'am is approved PhD guide in Savitribai Phule Pune University, and 7 scholars are working under her guidance. And she is also having 25 plus research papers published in national and international journal and conferences. So apart from that, she is also serving as a PhD examiner at Bhartiyar University, University of Madras, Madurai Kamraj University. Apart from all this credential, she is passionate to identify, define, plan, execute, and evaluate research projects in the area of emerging IT technologies and research guidance. She is also having strong project planning experience, and she is capable of leading project from concept to delivery. So she is also having hands-on experience in project development, guidance, and management. So this is about Professor Dr. Purna Shankar. So we are eagerly waiting, ma'am, for your next talk, next speech, which is based on outcome-based education. So I will
Thank
stop sharing my presentation from here. I think the rights are with you. Yes, now you are the
Yeah.
presenter, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you for your generous introduction.
Yes, ma'am, we can see your screen.
No?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. My presentation is visible? Okay. I switched over the other network. Okay. Yeah. Very good afternoon, everyone. First of all, I would like to congratulate the organizers, especially for conducting such a wonderful FDP and aligning the great speakers from IIT and NIT. I think in the morning also you had a wonderful session on research, and I appreciate all the faculty schedule joined here. And about this outcome-based with you all. It can be an interactive sessions. If you find questions, you can mute yourself and you can please talk. It's a discussion and an interactive. You're all learning, and kindly humble namaskar first to all of you. In most of the colleges now, the colleges which are acted, is my network unstable?
Hello? Sir, may I get a response from any of the delegates who are attending?
Yes, ma'am, you're audible now.
Audible?
Yeah, ma'am.
Fine. Fine. Okay. Yeah. So, I thought today we will enlighten all of you with the principles of outcome-based education, the necessity for implementing OB in colleges. It is not just for the accreditation's sake. It is only to build the holistic development among the students. And then if we want to implement OB, then what are the step-by-step, the key components of outcome-based education? And normally when we join a college, we go through the website, and in website you can see the vision and mission of the college. So how did they frame it? Or if at all you want to reframe it, what is the procedure? And then we can talk about the other components like program educational objectives, program outcomes, program specific outcomes, and course objectives and course outcomes. Because in many of the universities, if you find in the curriculum, it is given. So we are just following it. Instead, if you're a university, you want to establish a university in future, or you're working in a university like Mawadi University where several departments are there and they are also following the accreditation procedure. In that case, step by step, we can see how we can implement our own outcome-based education for the betterment of students. One is employability, and second is to inculcate the entrepreneurship abilities among the students. We can't expect every student to be academically outstanding. Everyone has some or the other talent. How to bring out those talents? So accreditation is one of the way where if you implement accreditation, we can have some continuous internal evaluation among the students. So the evaluation could be based on various parameters. For that, these factors are very important. So education, we know it is changing and drastically changed in the last 2 years. If you see, they're all non-traditional students, especially I think Pratima Kandalwal ma'am, she addressed about the implementation of NEP with the National Education Policy. And I think a lot of foreign universities collaborations we are going to have, and the education is going to be interdisciplinary in nature. Even an art students can take up some of the important or interesting subject from engineering, or an engineering student, he can take up, apart from his science, he can take up some arts subject. So such kind of freedom is given to students now, right? That is what all about NEP is. Like earlier, India is known for Nalanda universities and Takshashila universities. Similarly, now we are going to create our own reputed universities where we want the students to come come to India from the globe, right? So diversity is very important. So accreditation is a standard. Like normally when we want to send our kids abroad for higher education, we just see which are all the ranking that the students are getting or which university they are getting. So first thing is we prefer ABET accreditation because that is internationally recognized. More than 60 countries in the world, they all are accredited under ABET. The second renowned accreditation is our National Board of Accreditation because it has adopted the standards from ABET directly. So, the college also, it elevates to next level once we do the accreditation process. So the education, it keeps on changing, and we know completely we migrated to online education, from blended learning to online learning now, especially the millennials, the Gen Z, we can see either they use mobile phones or laptops or their tabs for all education, right? So just now I talked about this global education. Yeah. So to get the international exposure or to get the learning experience abroad, the students, they prefer global education. So as we discussed, there is an explosive growth in the distance education. Now, all IITs or NITs or even MITs, MIT, and all other renowned internationally acclaimed institute. See, everyone, they're going for online courses, the standards. Even Harvard Business School, they're conducting a lot of programs online. How it is possible? Because they have their modules clear, the curriculum is structure clear. So we are transcending across the borders, geographical borders. So if we want our college, to be accredited more, number one. Number two, we want to attract the people from the globe. Then what is required? The first thing we require is the implementation of outcome-based education. That should be the first parameter. Of course, infrastructure we need, the better placements we need, but apart from all this, the teaching learning should be strengthened. It can be strengthened by implementing outcome-based education. Because once a graduate, I can say, what we expect from a graduate. A student is coming to a college for getting a degree. So when he passes away after 3 years of education or 4 years of education, what sort of qualities we are expecting from a student? I would request the delegates to put it in the chat box. What do we expect? Now he has come. He scored very good marks, maybe in his 12th Mostly in the, board exams, they do rote learning, they memorize, they write, right? Okay, one is dedication, fine. What are the good qualities we are expecting from the students, or what we want them to learn? Yeah, communication skills, technical skills, great. Anything more? Okay, knowledge of content, yeah, excellent. Okay. Anything else? So technical capability, as you rightly said. So the first thing is technical capability. For whichever course they have selected, the domain knowledge, subject knowledge, to get more confidence in the subject. Excellent. The kind of experience, okay, different kinds of experience. Excellent. Excellent. Okay. So these are all the qualities we are expecting. If he's done chemical engineering, so yeah, skills. So the skills we can classify into domain skills and technical skills. That is the technical skills, domain skills, and soft skills. Yeah. So technical skills we are expecting, communication skills we are expecting, leadership qualities we want to imbibe. So we give them some kind of event management. We ask them to organize some of the programs so that they form various committees, they lead the program, they build the leadership abilities, and also they drive the team. So we are imbibing them the teamwork skills also, how to work in a team. So initially they fight, they have different opinion, and again they come back and they sort out their issues. Then social awareness and ethics also. So we would have seen in our colleges, we have NSS and NCC activities, a lot of CSR drives. Now the college social responsibility, we reframe it as college social responsibility. Such drives we organize, and multidisciplinary skills. It's not only in their domain, interdisciplinary and multidisciplinary. And main thing is, instead of we always teaching and asking them to learn, we have to imbibe this lifelong learning attitude among the students. It is very, very important. Of course, during the pandemic, a lot of YouTube videos and online, it is all big data. We are talking about earlier terabytes and megabytes. Now we are talking about zettabytes, yottabytes, and things like that. Why? Because of the data growth. Recently I read an article. We require 180 million years to see the contents that are available in internet. Let it be YouTube, let it be Google, anywhere. What are the contents in internet if you want to download? Because in YouTube itself, per minute there are 500 hours of video are uploaded per minute. I'm talking about. Okay, data never sleeps. That is the website. If you all visit in that, they give the statistics every year. Per minute, 500 hours of video. Amazon takes 6,000 orders per minute. Why I'm talking? So this is all creating to big data. So if you want to learn everything from internet, because it will take 180 million years for us. So lifelong, we can keep on learning. So we want to, instead of just teaching and learning, we want the student to learn himself, which I think pandemic has helped one way for them, and even for the teachers also. I think we have migrated completely to online teaching. A lot of digital, technologies we have learned for content building, content delivery, and students' engagement. A lot of quizzes and maybe the tools like Kaggle, which we never used earlier, right? All that we started using. Flipgrids, many people they started using, and the collaborative tools we have used. Excellent, right? So these are all the skills overall we are expecting among the students. Is our teaching imbibing all those skills? We need to check out. See, technical, definitely, right? And leadership and teamwork, right? We are giving them some event, we are organizing, so they are doing it. Communication skills, we have soft skills, or for the placement perspective, especially in the final year, we grill them, we groom them, because they need to face the interviews, right? So we imbibe all that. What about this multidisciplinary skills? How are we checking the creativity and innovation among the students? Are we giving them some opportunities? If not, outcome-based education, it talks about the holistic development of students. Yeah. So how to satisfy these expectations are satisfied through accreditation. So accreditation, I think most of you are from accredited colleges and you know that it is an endorsement of how good the expectations are satisfied. So I can say that accreditation is a derivative of outcome-based education, especially the delegates from NBA colleges. You know that. There are two aspects which are very important if you want to go for NBA accreditation. One is outcome-based education. Second is the research culture. Right. They ask for number of, the patents the college people have, number of citations, number of publications in the refereed journals, and a research grant that we got every college. Right. So they focus mostly on outcome-based education. Is my voice clear now, or still I have a problem with the connection? May I get a reply from anyone? Is my voice clear? Okay. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thanks, everyone. Okay. So now what are the inputs, right? When the committee comes, we would have seen a lot of painting and decorations. It happens, right? The fantasy things in the college. So infrastructure facilities, then the quality of the faculty. They ask about the faculty cadre ratio, like number of professors, associate professors, and assistant professors. So quality faculty with a good experience. That is number one. And second is the retention rate of the faculty. How long they are continuing in the same college, that one. And then the other human resources, whether they have sufficient non-teaching faculty or not. And then the finance of the college, whether they are paying 6th pay or 7th pay on time to the faculty, and do they have some buffer in terms of less admissions. And during pandemic also, whether all faculty have been paid or not. That will be the first criteria now for the committees to come. Right, the quality of students also very important. Here, how do we measure the quality of students? In the sense, it's not like we are just taking the creamy layer like Infosys or tier 1 companies. What they do, they ask throughout first class, or no backlogs, or no gap in education. So there is no point in taking a creamy layer and taking them to the different level. Instead, we have to take average students or even the below average students after coming to your college, how you are grooming them. That is very important. That is what accreditation talks about. How can you cater to the needs of students from diverse backgrounds? Right. So at the entry level, we do an assessment. We rate our students like what level they are into when they enter our college. And then slowly through the implementation of OBE, continuously we are assessing our students in order to meet the program outcomes. So we are going to discuss what is program outcomes and what are the course outcomes. So finally, what we are expecting, the output of accreditation is the success rate of the students, the placement of the students, and faculty achievement. See, we can say 100% placement, but the committee will not be happy if you say all 100% of my students are placed. That means somewhere we did not inculcate the leadership ability in students or the risk-taking ability. Why I would say, if I have a batch of 60 students, out of 60, I may expect only 40 to get placed. We know that there are some 5 to 10% of students, they never attend class, or they have their own passion by compulsion. They would have joined this course. They're not interested. They would not be participating. Okay, how are we catering to those students? That is very important. So out of 60, I can say 40% of the students are getting placed in some companies, tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, according to their performance. And then another 10% of the students, they want to go abroad and for their higher education, right? So it becomes 60 40 plus 10% of the students, say 45 or 50, and then they want majority of the students, maybe some 15 students out of a batch of 60, they want them to start their own business. Nowadays, if you see, there are a lot of startups coming in, and the investors are seed investors are ready to give the seed money for the students. So how can you attract? So every college, it is mandatory now to set up an innovation cell. Industry Institute III cell we have earlier. Now it is a mandatory requirement. Even now, especially I'm working in Pune University's affiliated college. Here the Pune University gives you the certificate for establishing or recognizing this incubation cell. innovation and incubation cell, IIC they call it as. And later we can approach the startup companies or we can approach the seed investors. So our students, when they are doing the final year project, we can sell it to them, the commercial ideas, or we can patent and we can get some good benefit out of it, or we can set up the companies also. So why I'm saying, so we will be happy if 10 of our students are starting on their own, setting up their own companies, or they are becoming entrepreneurs. Maybe some 5% of the students, they will join their ancestors' business. So that is the way we are expecting. This we call it as a success rate of students. It is not just getting the placement. And faculty achievement. I think every college we have our appraisal system, 360-degree appraisal system, in which our academics, our performance is divided into 3 parts. As we know, one is our teaching learning, second is our administration capabilities, whether we are working for NAC accreditation or are we interested in doing AICT related work or NB accreditation we are doing, or NIRF ranking, some coordination we would have got it, right? That is the second part. The third part is the research contribution. Are we writing papers? Are we guiding the people? Are we getting some funding? So this is the third part. So in this way, the faculty achievements are measured. So earlier, 2014, I would say, in India, NBA started introducing OBE concept. Before that, we had output-based education. So what is the difference? In output-based education, we have teacher-centric role. The teacher decides everything. But here, what the students want, so it is student-centric. How you are seeing your students 3 years down the line or 5 years down the line, how do you want your student to get into? What sort of career you're expecting for your student? So think that and you backtrack and set up your syllabus accordingly. And then I can say there it was passive learners, like rote learners. What you teach, they just listen and go. And it was all what, when, how, such kind of questions. Explain, describe. Now we are making them active learners. Instead, we give a situation and we ask them the questions, like case study based learning or situation handling, or how we are inculcating problem solving capabilities among the students. So all such definitions and explain and describe questions should be ruled out from our question paper. We should give only the practical problems, because if you give describe, explain, just the thing is they Google it and they type it. Especially even while setting up the online examination also, I've seen that in one window they open and they see, in the other window they Google it, or maybe they use mobile phone, they know their tricks. So we have to set a question paper in such a way that even in Google or even in books, they should not get the questions. So such a way we have to set the question paper. So we have to activate their brain, make them to think and do it. So the results here we teach and we are expecting the results at the end. Whereas here, what is the end result? Based on that, we are aiming. And then the process and practices are deciding the outcome. Here, outcome decides what sort of procedures or practices we have to follow. So it is just a backtracking, I would say, or reverse engineering. 5 years down the line, what you want, that you plan it right away. The syllabus is rigid and output based. Here, outcome based, it is dynamic. So we have open subject, we have electives, or we can introduce some value added programs. Even in NAC, if you see, they're asking curriculum beyond syllabus, right? Value based education. And how many certifications we are giving, which is outside the syllabus. Outstanding academics, they call it like. All those things we can add it like. Then here we have only summative assessment. Here we have formative and summative. See, summative is the assessment conducted by university. So formative assessment is the continuous internal assessment what we are conducting. It's not just a test. It can be an assignment, it can be a seminar, it can be a group activity, or it can be an industry visit to us, some place, or it can be a visit to exhibition, or it can be an educational tour. Everywhere we can send the students, let them come back and what are they learning there, take away from that particular program. If they present, then we should be in a position to assess. It's no more, marks based or marks biased judgment. So that we call it as formative assessment. Then judgment methods are based on previous results. As I said, what did they score in their 10th standard, 12th standard? Based on that, we judge. Here it is continuous evaluation. Okay, so I would say the assessment we use today in education is getting less effective. So we want to make it more effective. I think just now we discussed It can be student-centric, or it can improve the effectiveness, and it can bring out the best performance among the students. Yeah, so the OBE has changed the complete evaluation system. So it has the core principles, I would say. It has a clarity of focus, designing back. That means 3 years down the line, what you want to achieve, that you are thinking, and then you are setting up your own syllabus. Then high expectation from all students by teachers. Normally, I can say the teachers are greedy. We want all our students to get first class or distinction. But we need to differentiate the students, right? So if he is good at some particular activity, so how can you grade him in that? Or what kind of opportunity you can give to such students? One student may be good in coordination, one may be good in leadership, one may be good in event management, one may be good in project planning. Accordingly, we can divide them into multiple groups, and then we can give them the assignment that can be evaluated, so that in the internal evaluation, we are doing the justice by bringing out the best skills from the students, and a lot of opportunities we can give it to them. So if we focus on these 4 parameters, then I can say that we are starting, or we are gearing up for outcome-based implementation. Yeah. So the 3 basic components are curriculum, instruction, and assessment. As I said, assessment, it is not only through the pen and paper test, the various ways like projects, test, and rubrics. Rubrics is one of the excellent instrument for indirect assessment. So what do you mean by indirect? Direct means you're giving a question and you are evaluating it, or you're giving an assignment, you are evaluating it. As I said, you're sending a student to an industry for 1 week training. Then he is coming back and presenting something, what experience he gained in that 1 week. So how are you going to assign that? For that, you need to set up certain parameters. There are certain rules. There are 3 different types also. That is altogether a different topic. Okay, assessment itself, we can talk about 2 to 3 hours. We have direct, indirect, formative, summative, and how to create rubrics and so on. So the 3 basic focus is on curriculum development, instructions, delivery, that is, and the third part is assessment. Right. So in OBE system, I think most of us during accreditation, we would have remembered or mugged up rather, or we have been forced to learn the vision and mission of the institute, right? So how to formulate that, we are going to see. And then these are all the parameters which are constituting our OBE. Program educational objectives, program outcomes, program specific outcomes, and course outcomes. So course means here a subject. Program means the degree that we are offering. So if I say BE chemical engineering, it is a program. Okay, BE computer engineering, it is a program. BSc physics, it's a program. BA, it is a program. Okay, and the subjects that we teach, we call it as a course. So these are all the jargons that we use it in outcome-based education. So first thing is we need to formulate the vision, mission, and all these objectives, and then how to deliver, assess, and evaluate. That we have to decide. At the beginning of the semester, we can decide all these parameters, then we can deliver, then we can do the assessment. Assessment of what? Assessment of program outcomes, assessment of program specific outcomes, assessment of course outcomes. Course means the subject I teach. See, I'm teaching a subject, I'm conducting a test, he's scoring 100% in that test. Are we satisfied? No, not like that. In that subject, I'm giving some problems, okay, or related to that subject, I'm giving practically here in the college, say an electrical student. I'm asking just how, how to measure or how to optimize the power consumption in the college. I'm giving a case study to a student. You can give him 1 week time. Let him go and do the meter reading of all the units available in the entire campus and ask them to present it, where the consumption is more, what period, during what time, and how can they optimize it. Or what could be the renewable energy source for it? Can they come out with a project plan and succeed? Instead of asking the questions like describe and explain, we can give them such assignments to the students. Or even a civil engineering student, you can ask them how the water conservation can happen, how the rainwater harvesting can be done in the college. Can't they take it up as a project and do it? So such kind of practical exercises we can give, and that we can evaluate it internally. So that is what we mean by evaluation. If you do one such activity, then lot of our graduate attributes will be covered in that. Then we can do the brainstorming. If you are not able to achieve, I think many of the colleges, when they implemented outcome-based education for the first time, all parameters they would not have achieved. So what we need to do at the end of the assessment, we have to sit and brainstorm with our team and come up with an action plan in order to fine-tune our system. So again, you have to redefine our process. We have to go back and deliver, change your delivery system, your assessment system, so that we are attaining our objectives. So again, we have to go back to our step 3. We have to change our deployment and delivery system. Yeah. Is it okay, or am I continuously on and on, or any questions, anyone? Or shall I continue?
I think it's going on well. It's going on well. Only one point, if you could little elaborate for the participant, that you touched upon the graduate attributes.
Yes, sir. Yes, I'm coming up. I'm coming to that, sir. I'm going to give the definition for all this part.
Sure.
Vision, mission, and how to frame, and all these attributes. So now this is the key. These are all the key constituents of outcome-based education. As I talked about, first is vision and mission of the college, program educational objectives, program outcomes, the graduate attributes, then program specific outcomes, and course outcomes. If you see, when we are developing, first they construct the college. At that time, they design the vision and mission of the college. So these are all the first preliminary things every college does it, right? Later, it is our duty to coin this program educational objectives, program outcomes, program specific outcomes, and course outcomes. So how to frame all this? Maybe in next half an hour, I'm going to just discuss on that. If you see the arrows, so while developing, it should be from top to bottom. Whereas when we are calculating the attainment, it will be bottom-up approach. Like every individual faculty is responsible for meeting out the course outcome. Here, course, we discuss the subject that we are teaching, right? So in our subject, we have set up some objectives. Are we meeting those objectives? And we want certain outcomes. Are we meeting those outcomes or not? That we have to evaluate after the examination, after our internal assessment and external assessment. Once we receive the results from university, we need to calculate the attainment for our class. How to calculate? Of course, that is again another session. Actually, this entire OB implementation, I take it as a 1-week workshop. So today we are just discussing on the important parameters. What is what we will discuss, and later, anytime anyone requires, I'll share my contact. Then I can conduct a specific workshop only for assessment or for assignment or for setting up all this. We can do that. Okay, so the course outcome, individual faculty, after getting the results, we do it, and then we will map it with the program specific outcomes, then program outcomes. So one by one, we will just discuss on that. So the attainment is bottom up approach, and the framing of all these key constituents, it is a top down approach. Okay, first vision of the college. So vision, normally if you see, why they set up a college. So it is, I can say vision is a long-term perspective. And mission is a short-term goal, long-term goal and short-term goal. So the basic reason for the establishment of the institute. Why did they establish the institute? They want to serve the society, or they want to develop an academic community. They want to inculcate, good engineers, leadership abilities with a socially responsible, good engineers to the society, something like that. So the reason for establishment, it focuses and inspires all stakeholders. Stakeholders here we mean AICT, or we can say DTE, or parents, or alumni, or everybody are our stakeholders. The students, everybody are our stakeholders. It should be inspiring one. And then a vision statement can be between one line and a several paragraph long. Normally, if you see, they write it in one paragraph, the vision statement. So it focuses on why they established the college and how can we inspire all the stakeholders, and it provides the direction and inspiration for the institute. Every day when you enter into the institute, you can see the vision. Okay, are we working? Are we contributing towards the vision of the college? Is our mission set up like that? We can think in our mind. so that that affinity towards the organization, and in order to meet this vision, it automatically comes to us, right? And it outlines the people how you can what value you're offering it to the world, to the human community, and to plan the entire organization also, I would say, right from the institute to the community, how we are going to serve. It should be meaningful it should be convincing. It cannot be hypothetical. It should be practical. It should be achievable. So how can we convince everyone, whether it is students or the faculty or the staff or the parents and all stakeholders? So normally how they create a vision statement, I would say, when you are writing, it should be the output oriented and then define what is unique to your organization. We cannot just Google it and write it. Yeah, it should be, a vision should be unique for our college. So it should reflect the uniqueness, and it can be focused, and don't make it too visionary. We can't expect everyone in our college to be a university rank holder. Rank holder means only one student, or maybe top 10 students, we can say. Can I write, I want to develop all my students to be the toppers of the university, which is impractical. So we cannot be too visionary. It should be practically achievable. So we can say that the vision statement can be measured in the 10 years, first 10 years. If your college is 10 years old, then it is a high time for the committee to sit and reframe the vision, because we have to see in this 10 years, have we achieved? If not, which are the parts we have not achieved? Keep that part as it is, and rest of the part you can think ahead. Right. So I said I want to focus on producing good engineers with high placements, example. And then I want to inculcate the research attitude. So good engineers we produced, and good placements we offered, but research part we are lacking. So we can have that research part as a stepping stone, and then further we can expand. So I would suggest it is better to revise the vision statement of the college every 10 years. So that the outlook, it completely changes, our perspective completely changes, and change is a constant thing, right? So we can suggest to our management, and then we can dream big, and we can use present tense when we are writing. It should be clear and concise. So this part I'm not getting into much detail. One or two examples. You see Harvard University's vision statement, what they talk about: to develop leaders who will one day make a global difference. That's all. A single statement, a vision statement. So Harvard, normally it is known for its extremely good management leadership programs, you can say. So one line, the entire vision, it is delivered. So this statement, I don't think it need not be changed. It is timeless one. It is suitable for any era, right? To develop leaders who will one day make a global difference. That's all. A simple statement, but it has a depth meaning to it, which everybody will accept for any time it is suitable. Another one, a South Africa university in which all our people have access to lifelong learning. So we talked about the graduate attributes. So they want to inculcate lifelong learning. A person who learns every day, I think, they all will be cherishing throughout their life. So this is one of the vision statements of South Africa. Now, let us come to mission statement. So vision, we understood that it is for a long time. It is for the purpose of establishment of the college, and it should inspire, and it should be practical, right? So the mission statement here, mission means it's a short-term goal, I would say. Short-term means a period of, say, some 3 to 5 years, or maybe 6 years. After 6 years, we have to see whether we have achieved our mission or not. If not, it is high time for us to reframe our missions. If we have achieved all our missions. So mission is a vehicle to go towards the vision of the college. I can say that if I say I want to make a global leader, what are the activities I will do in order to produce global leaders? So I can say that mission are the action statements. I said we want to produce good engineers. How can we produce good engineers or responsible engineers? First, we have to impart quality education. So the teaching learning should be, improved more, or effectiveness of teaching learning can be improved more. And then the quality of the faculty, that I would say number 2. And number 3, even our assessment strategies. And number 4, what are the initiatives we are taking for the holistic development of students. So like that, we can frame our actionable statements. In order to achieve the vision, what are the actions we are going to take? So few shorter sentences or paragraph. Normally vision is written in a paragraph and mission is written in bulleted points. Like that, we can write it. So what I must do to make this vision happen? That is what mission is all about. So it should have some emotional quotient also, because it should be inspiring, a simple language, and easily it should be communicated to the people, and it should be unique and memorable, and it can be actionable. So these are all the steps involved in writing a mission statement. So see, these are all the examples. To deliver a quality academic programs based on state-of-art R&D, or to produce outstanding engineers, brilliant researchers and teachers, great entrepreneurs and leaders. If you read this statement, everything is covered. Outstanding engineers, researchers, teachers, entrepreneurs and leaders. All the qualities what we have been discussing so far. So a leadership quality, entrepreneur ability, teachers, researchers, everything is covered in this. Right. Okay, how will we frame this vision and mission? So we have to first analyze the strengths and weakness of our college, our resources, our capabilities. Very important. The SWOT analysis we need to do. Just because somebody is having a vision, we cannot. We should be practical with respect to our infrastructure, our geographical location, the kind of students we are getting. All that we have to see, and then we have to point the vision statement. And then the educational environment that we have, and understanding the challenges from the competitors, because our vision and mission should be unique. See, there may be n number of colleges surrounded by us. How our college is unique. So that we need to. So uniqueness is very important. Then collect the view from all stakeholders like management, governing council, advisory committee. From there, then you can frame a vision, and then collect views from parents, industry and statutory body, and final copy, it can be approved by the management. This is the procedure to frame the vision and mission. I think the top layer we have completed. We are coming to the second layer. Meantime, any discussions? Any more questions? Anybody like to ask anything, or can we proceed? Yes, sir. Thank you so much. Okay, we'll proceed. Thank you. Yeah. Okay, so yes, these are all some of the guidelines that we can use for framing the vision and mission: creating a center of excellence, developing an R&D center, or receiving grants from agencies, getting NBA accreditation. These are all the statements we can use it in our mission statements. Or NBA, getting NBA is a long term, so we can go for a long term. Long term in the sense, if your college is new, then getting NBA itself is a vision for us, because it will take at least 5 to 6 years for us to establish first and then get the accreditation. Short term, then we can say these are all the achievable things within 3 years. One batch, if they pass out, we can come to know whether we achieved 100% results or not. Good placements, improving academics, securing university rankers. So this could be the vision statement. So these are all the keywords that we can use while coining the vision and mission statement. Now we will come to program educational objectives. These 4 O's are very important: PEOs, PSOs, POs, and COs. So all 4 O's we are going to discuss. What are program educational objectives? So I would say my student has passed out. Now, engineering program, we have 4 years. He has taken admission in 2022. So in 2026, he is passing out. Now, I want to measure his outcome in 2028 or 2029. He has done his engineering. Okay. Now, is he working in the relevant field? Number 1. Has he escalated from the present position when he passed out, and has he reached the next level? Has he become an entrepreneur, or has he escalated in his career by getting some promotions? All this we are measuring. So I would say program educational objective can be measured after 2 to 3 years of passing out of graduation. So what we wanted in that, to develop a competent management professional with strong ethical values. See, this is suitable for management, means a management college would have coined it. If it is engineering, it will come engineering. If it is a pharmacy college, you can make it as a pharma professional. We can change accordingly. This is just one example. And we are assuming a pivotal role in various sectors of Indian economy and society. So these are all some of the objectives of colleges: proactive thinking, to develop proactive thinking and to develop a business ecosystem, and then to exhibit leadership skills and to harness entrepreneurial skills. So in program educational objective, we are expecting a student who has studied in a college, who has passed out after 3 to 4 years. We want him to understand the global environment. We want him to be a good leader, or he can be a good entrepreneur. He should be having proactive thinking, and he should serve for the society as well, or he should have the ethics, professional ethics also. That we have to measure. All these points are measured in the program educational objectives. So program educational objectives are the broader statements that describes expected career and professional accomplishment of graduates during 3 to 5 years after graduation. So as I said, once he passes out, maybe in 2026, you take a review of such students in 29. You call for an alumni meet. That time you call them back to the campus, or over survey, you can ask them what they are into. Like when they left the college, what was their development, and now how they progressed in their career. That we can measure. So there are certain assessment and evaluation. So assessment means what we will do? We will identify, collect, and prepare the data. So the data means a questionnaire we can prepare. In that questionnaire, we have to see to that these parameters we are addressing. Like we can ask them what are their present designation, how many people are reporting to them. And then we can ask what kind of ethical, any examples we can ask. Normally we give references when the students go abroad. You know, they ask several questions. How the student was, can you tell an example when he had some critical problems, how he handled his problems, situation handling skills, common sense, example. So like that, there are so many parameters: communication skills, leadership skills. So related to that, you can ask questions and then we can evaluate. So evaluation is one or more processes for interpreting the data and evidences accumulated. Evidence means either it could be an interview, or it could be a Google form we are collecting, or maybe some other new technology that will come, or a video we can get it from the student, what he talks about, his profile and his experience, and how our college was helpful in imbibing all those core values. That is very important. Otherwise, we have to reframe our core values. Yeah. So how we can collect it? So there are two processes as we discussed just now: the assessment and evaluation. A feedback format we can do. Okay. We can collect the data from the stakeholders, a process by which a PEOs are created and reviewed periodically. Every year we can have this PEO assessment. Say now 2022 means the students who have passed out in 2019 or 18, we can call their reviews, a process in which a curriculum is created. Even for curriculum creation, we can check whether in our curriculum this PEO aspects are covered. Proactive thinking, is it covered? Leadership is covered? Entrepreneurial ability is covered or not? We have to see to that, or maybe some subjects we can include in our curriculum. So a process to evaluate what extent the PEOs are attained. So PEO attainment just now we discussed. We can roll out a questionnaire, or we can invite them to the campus, and then we can assess on all those parameters so that the quality can be improved. So how to frame PEOs? So first we have to write PEOs. We have to frame PEOs, program educational objectives. So it should fulfill the local needs and global needs, and all stakeholders should participate. And then it should fulfill the needs of the stakeholders, and it should be consistent with the mission of the institute. See, first we are setting up the vision of the institute, mission of the institute, then department vision, department mission, then PEOs. This PEO should be aligned to the mission of the institute and department. If they say our institute should be known for research, then some research component should be added in assessment. If we say that they are excellent engineers, then in what way you are measuring that excellency? That we have to measure it when we are coining the program education objectives. It should be aligned. Okay, the number of POs should be manageable, 3 to 4 only, and it should be achievable. It should not be too narrow, or it should not be too lengthy also. Okay, so how we are framing it? The same way we can collect the views from alumni. Alumni plays a major role in framing the PEOs. What they missed in the college, that you can ask them. Or if at all what they learned, if they had learned, they would have survived better, that part. So that we can improve on our system, education ecosystem. So we involve our alumni, we can involve all the professional bodies, and we have to involve the industry. So collecting views from all these people plays a major role. See, neither our management nor our faculty will be in a position to tell about the present industry needs. We always talk good about the college and students, but only the industry, they give us the proper feedback, right? So even the alumni, they give the proper feedback. So from them, we have to ask their views, we have to do the review, and there should be a committee framed in the college, program assessment committee. And then one more important committee, DAC we call it as, it is Department Academic Advisory Committee. There is a structure given. That academic advisory committee, we have a parent, we have an industry expert, we have a present student, we have an alumni, we have a department head, a senior teacher, and a director of the college. So the 7 members are mandatory for that committee. So from all these people, we can involve and we can frame the PEOs. I'll give some examples also. So the key elements of PEOs are professional success. We need to measure whether they have this lifelong learning. Say a simple example. See, when they passed out, he became a Java engineer. Right now, after 3 years down the line in computer, since I'm from this field, I'm giving you the example. Now, data science is booming up very well. Now, he has become a Python programmer. So I would say my lifelong learning I assessed, because when he passed out, he learned Java in college. He had become a Java engineer, but now he had this learning capability. He had upgraded himself from Java to Python. Now he is working on the Python technology. So I can say that his lifelong learning ability has been improved, and professionally he is successful, and he has done his higher education. Higher education means we need not measure only from B, he has to do MS or ME or MTech. Even if he does a certification, because in industry normally they rely on international certification, right? If he is a system auditor, he does some system audit certification or Oracle certification. The person is doing, or a project management institute. So PMI certification, nowadays agile program, this, that, there are so many certifications, right? If he's a management student, then he becomes a financial analyst or a business analyst or a marketing strategist. So such kind of, or he's doing some course in Harvard or maybe in IIM, all this will be agreed. It's not only the mere graduation, that a graduation degree that a university is offering. Any upgradation in his career is accepted as a higher education, or any new project that he worked will be coming under research. Then his communication. Obviously, we have seen the transformation in the students, the time they pass out, then when they become a professional. The communication skills, all that, it would have been drastically improved, and how as a team player he is working. So these abilities we can check through the questionnaire. These are all the examples of PEOs, program educational objectives. I can say for civil engineering graduates will work effectively as individuals and as a team members in multidisciplinary projects. So these are all the examples. Apply the knowledge of computer engineering to solve the problems of social relevance and pursue higher education. So here we are talking about social relevance, problem solving, and higher education. Here, if you see, engage in lifelong learning, career enhancement, and adopt changing professional to the societal needs. So the parameters which we discussed just now are all addressed in this PEOs. Any questions or any deliberations would you like to make? Any one of you related to PEOs, program educational objectives? So first we started with the vision of the institute, then the mission of the institute. Just to recap, vision, a long-term plan for the purpose of the establishment, and then mission, the actionable statement to achieve. Then we talked about department vision and mission, and then program educational objective, which should be aligned with the mission of the college. And it can be measured after 3 years of graduation, 3 to 5 years. Yeah. Any questions? Shall we continue?
There are no questions in the chat box.
Okay. Is it boring or is it okay? The pace is okay?
Yes, ma'am, it is something new for us.
Great. Thank you, sir. Okay, next very important aspect, program outcomes, which we call it as a graduate attributes. See, just now we discussed about what are the attributes we are expecting from a graduate. The third slide, which I showed, in that we discussed technical capability, lifelong learning, communication skills. These are all called as graduate attribute. Who defined it? It is all internationally acclaimed Washington Accord. That standard, they defined graduate attributes. There are 12 important graduate attributes which a graduate is expected to know when he is passing out. So that Washington Accord standard is directly adopted by NBA, our National Board of Accreditation. They say that for engineering, if you want to be a successful engineer, he has to have all these 12 attributes as it is. So kindly pardon me, the other department or other faculty members from arts or science or from pharmacy or other streams. This graduate attributes are 12 attributes. 12 attributes defined by Washington Accord. NB has said so. All engineering colleges, as it is, we are following it. If you are from a science college, or if you are from an arts college, you want to frame your program outcomes. What should you do? You can follow these parameters which are irrelevant in that. You can take out, and rest all you can frame it. So you have that liberty and you have the freedom to choose your program outcomes. Only for engineering, it is mandatory to follow as it is. So how to customize, we will just discuss. So these are all the 12 important attributes which Washington Accord standard said and NBA followed. For all across the country, in the entire India, whichever engineering college, they all follow this, whichever may be the college, any university, any affiliation, irrespective of all that, they follow this 12 graduate attributes. What are they? The first one is engineering knowledge, because these are pertaining to only engineering program. Now, if I'm running a BSc mathematics program, so I would not say engineering knowledge. What would I say? I will customize it to mathematical knowledge. Here we talk about the domain knowledge. So if he is a good engineer, he should have a sound engineering knowledge, problem analysis capability, designing and developing the solutions to the problem, and investigation of complex problems, very difficult problem, in the sense real-time problems. He should provide a solution. He should be in a position to use modern tool usage, and he should serve for the engineers and society, and he should be environmentally conscious, and he should have the environmental sustainability initiatives and ethics, strong ethics he should have. And as an individual and as a team player, he should be good, and he should possess good communication skills, project management skills, finances, and lifelong learning ability. So these are all the 12 attributes adopted as it is by NBA. So if you are a pharmacy college, right? So engineering knowledge is not applicable. You can say pharmacy knowledge. So maybe modern tool usage, it has become a primary requirement for all courses because of the online. I would say even a school teacher who have not used online, now they know Google Meet, they know WebEx, and they know MS Teams, and they know Zoom, right? So we are also upgrading. Everyone from every stream, they should know modern tool usage. See, this pandemic we never thought of. 15, 20 years ago, Washington Accord framed all this. Till today, it is applicable. We are adopting. So how visionary they are all. That is what I'm trying to say. So this won't change because it covers all the aspects and it will be suitable for 100 more years also. I asked one, on a lighter note, I would like to say number one, the e-commerce company is Amazon. We know that entire world they are occupied. So once we asked Bezos, how did you get this vision? He says you have to think 100 years before and 100 years after. Then only you can be a visionary. 100 years before, because you have to understand the history and civilization and how the evolution has happened. 100 years forward, you have to think so that you will be able to speculate the economy of the country, the development, and you should have the foresight. So he says, even today, if I close, my company will run for 100 years without any income, he says. 100 more years he can survive. So that is the kind of vision he has rather. Right. So what we are trying to say, so these are all the attributes which are pertaining to all the engineering. See now, how to remember this? So we can say Cuddy meets Tommy. What is Cuddy? Cuddy, K means engineering knowledge, A is analysis skill, D is design and development, I is investigation skills, M is modern tools, E is engineer and society, E is environment, and T is ethics. And T is all about teamwork and communication, project management, and lifelong learning. So if you see these 12 attributes, it is divided into 3 parts. One is knowledge, the other one is skills, the third one is attitudes. So we can see which are knowledge, which are skill and attitude in that. So what are program outcomes? So program outcomes are the statements that describe what a student is expected to know or he will be able to do by the time of graduation. See, program educational objective, we are measuring 3 years after he passes out his graduation. Program outcome, we are expecting immediately, that is in the final year, final semester. When he is about to complete his graduation, we are accessing whether this fellow has attained all the graduate attributes or not. So at that time, we want to measure. What we want to measure is knowledge, his skills, and his attitude. So here also we have assessment and evaluation. How will you do the assessment? You will identify, collect, and prepare the data. Then how will we evaluate it? We have to interpret the data by certain assessment practices. Okay, so how to form this program outcomes. So every department, vision and mission, it is very important. See, in a college or in a university, if you have several departments, each and every department will have its own program outcomes. If it is an engineering college, the things are almost same. All graduate attributes are same. If it is an arts and science college, the program outcome of BCom will be different from BSc. From BSc, it will be different from BE. BA. From BA, if it is a diploma college, again, it will be different. But you can see to that in these 12 aspects, which are very important, those relevant aspects you can frame for your own college, for your own program, for your own degree, I mean to say. So it should be aligned. The department vision and mission should be aligned with the institute vision and mission. And then your program, POs should be aligned with your PEOs. That is also important. Then you can draft it with the help of senior faculty, alumni, and then consider all the graduate attributes, collect the views from professional body, faculty, industry, and then you can do the review analysis, and then finally we can freeze the POs. Here also we can involve program assessment committee and DAC committee. So there should be a coordinator separately appointed for all this. Normally we give this work to IQAC coordinator in a college. He does all this work. Right? So these are all the explanation. I just skip it because we discussed on this modern tool usage and all. These are all the program outcomes for a pharmacy college because engineering knowledge will not be applicable for them. So they made it as pharmacy knowledge, planning abilities, problem analysis, modern tool usage, leadership, professional identity, pharma ethics. Instead of normal ethics, they made it as pharmaceutical ethics. So instead of 12, they made it as 11. Then for diploma colleges, if you see, instead of strong knowledge, they say basic knowledge because after 10th standard, they do the diploma. We don't expect in-depth knowledge from them. So basic knowledge, discipline knowledge, experiment and practice, tools, engineering and society, ethics, individual and teamwork, communication, and lifelong learning. So they have 10 such graduate attributes. Similarly, for your own course, your own degree, your own program, you can coin such program outcomes. Yeah. Any questions for anyone? Shall I continue? Program outcomes? Yeah. Thank you, sir. Okay. Then program specific outcomes, PSOs. See, program outcomes, it is overall perspective we are covering. Program specific outcomes, they are domain specific. I say successful engineer, that is a general term. I say a successful computer programmer who has a coding skill. Then it becomes program specific outcome. So program specific outcome are pertaining to a particular program, a particular degree or a diploma, a particular course what we are running. And it will not be generalized and it should be unique. And it will be only one or two, not more than that. So that is what we call it as program specific outcomes. These are all the learning outcomes which are very specific to a program. Here program means we talk about the degree that we are going to offer. Yeah. Okay. I thought some chat messages come. Okay. It shall cover more specific technical abilities about the particular program. It can be developing a products or with the consent to the society, economics and environment. To establish the equivalence between engineering graduate of a specific program of one institute with the engineering graduate at the same or a similar program in the other institute. So I can say, see, there are two colleges adjacent to each other. Both are offering computer engineering program, but both can have different PSOs. One college may focus more on coding skills. Okay, the other college may focus more on the hardware oriented courses or network courses or infrastructural development. I would say I want to produce more software engineers. Here they will say they want to produce more network engineers or hardware engineers. So both are different, right? So it should be unique and it should be your program specific, domain specific, and it should be universally accepted across the globe, work license or any country across the globe, right? Say for example, a student from a medicine, he should be getting the approval from MCI, right? Similarly, pharma council, pharmacy student, right? So that way, a license should be accepted globally. So what it should consist of? It should consist of problem solving skills, successful career, entrepreneurship abilities, and professional skills. Very important. Professional skills we have to emphasize more on. So you can see these are all the example. How an engineering PSO is written. Will apply engineering knowledge for design and implementation for projects pertaining to signal processing and communication. So here you can make out he is a telecom engineer or he is an electronics engineer. So next one, if you see, he will exhibit the necessary skills and to work in IT and IoT sectors, Internet of Things. So these are all pertaining to electronics. So this is pertaining to pharmacy, to perform research on various medical aspects to implement pharmaceutical knowledge and in formulating best suitable dosage to provide high quality medicines to the society. So best dosage and high quality. You can see these aspects. And second important PSO is to render the services to the public by providing patient-centric treatment, to curb the therapeutic issues that require medicines and explain the effect of drugs by analyzing. So it's core technical. So it is relevant to their particular course. So every faculty would be in a best position, or every senior faculty or faculty members would be in a position to decide the program specific outcomes. Okay. So normally a program consists of multiple semester courses. We have core subject, we have elective subjects, we have general electives, we have subject elective, we have general core and subjective core, right? Okay. So next we will come to CO, which is very, very important. Where, see, so far we can, some of the junior faculty or assistant professor or entry level faculty can escape by saying that, okay, PSO is already formed by the department. PO is already formed by the department. Vision and mission is already formed by the department. But you can't say CO is formed by the department. CO is the responsibility of individual faculty. Some university, fortunately, they call for a committee and they frame it and they give it in the curriculum. But most of the universities, they give the freedom of framing the CO to the respective faculty. So we as a faculty, we should know how to define our objectives and outcomes. Both are different. Course objective means what a faculty member will cover in a course. It is not behavioral in nature. So what you want the student to know and understand, that will come in the course objective. That means it is faculty, teacher centric. What you want to teach, you write it in the objective. To give the knowledge on this things. Okay. To impart the knowledge on this things, I want him to understand this things. That is objective. Whether he has learned it or not, that is student centric. So that will come in the course outcome. It is very important for every faculty. It is not only for a particular subject that you are teaching. Here course means I said subject. You can write a course outcome for any event that you are doing. You can write a course outcome for this FDP. The fact that STTP that you are attending, they had an objective to impart the teaching and research, both focus. Whether it has been attained, you can introspect that how the now they have given some lectures related to research, some lecture related to NEP, some lecture related to outcome based education. So they are covering and balancing both aspects, teaching learning aspect and the research perspective. So the objectives of the STTP are attained. So the outcome we can evaluate it. So every teacher should write the course objective and outcome when we are preparing the planner. So there are certain rules. So course outcomes are the detailed description of what a student must be able to do at the end of the course. So you can say a student will be able to identify this. He will be able to discuss this. He will be able to evaluate this. He will be able to compare this. Such statements we are expecting, or such outcome we are expecting from the students. It should be SMART course outcome. SMART in the sense simple, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time bound. It should be very simple, not SMART here. It is simple, very simple, so that a student will be able to understand. Now, measurable. How will we measure it? The course outcome, how we are measuring it? Through some activity, we are going to measure it. It could be assignments, it could be industry visit, it could be internships, it could be projects, it could be symposium, it could be conference, anything. Achievable. How I can't give 100% target to everything. So it should be a realistic target. 100%, it is not possible, right? So this time my class average was 65. Next time I can say my class average will be 70%, right? It is achievable. Suddenly HOD comes and says, no, from 65 you have to get 100%, which is impractical, right? So when we are writing the course outcome, we should consider the knowledge, skill, and attitude of the students. Now, we can use Bloom's taxonomy when we are framing the course outcome. I think all will be familiar with this. So initially we start with remembering and understanding. So first two COs can be based on remembering and understanding. Then later apply, analyze, evaluate, and create. So as the level goes up, because in our syllabus also first 2 units will be introductory in nature. Then some application part, then analysis part, then evaluation part. Creating is too difficult to achieve. Creating means we talk about IPRs, filing a copyright or a patent. Okay, so that way we are talking about, or developing a good project, that will be the create level. Evaluate level, he will be able to compare and decide. So in our course outcome, when we are framing, it should be step by step. First, you can say he will be in a position to understand the core concepts. He will be able to apply his knowledge to solve the problem. He will be able to analyze and find the best solution to solve the realistic problem. He will be in a position to evaluate and judge the best project. That way, step by step, the course outcome should be. See, even in Bloom's taxonomy, we have a lot of verbs. like describe, explain, all this will be in the first 2 levels. Then for application, it is examine, illustrate, like that. Even for analysis, then we can write, explain, categorize, investigate. Then for evaluate, all these verbs. For create, it is a bit difficult. So in postgraduate level or engineering final year level, create is possible. Otherwise, they do just Google and they copy paste and they do it. Like final year project, I can say it's a create level. Or they're a mechanical student developing a car, I can say it is a create level, right? Yeah. So quickly, I will cover course outcome. So course outcome, we should have 4 important parameters in that. The first parameter is the action verb. Which action verb? Just now we discussed. These are all the action verbs. So this verb it should have. Second is a learning statement. Third is a criterion. Criterion means a standard. And fourth is a condition. Okay, one example. Okay, at the end of field research, a student will be able to write a research paper in the appropriate scientific style. This is an example course outcome. So if you see the color matching, I've done it here. At the end of the field research, it is a condition. So condition means when he will be able to do. So at the end of the field research. So I'm sending a student for a market survey or a research. So at the end of the research, so I'm very specifically saying. Next, the action verb. Which is the action verb here? A student will be able to write. So that is the action verb. And then learning statement. What he will write? He will write a research paper. Research paper writing is a learning. Then criterion. Criterion means a standard that we are talking about. So what standard? The standard is appropriate scientific style. See, everybody can write a research paper. Just they can copy it, paste it, or Google it and write it. But how we want it? We want it in a scientific style. So we are very specific in mentioning the standard. So this is what the criterion is. So these 4 aspects are essential for defining a course outcome. So there are 3 important things I said. The first one is it should be simple, achievable, measurable, and time bound and realistic. Smart goals. And second is we have to follow the Bloom's taxonomy levels. And the third one is it should have 4 parameters like learning statement, action verb, criterion, and condition. So you can have, if you have 5 units, so the first unit you can use the understanding level and remembering level of Bloom, second level analysis and application. For the third one, you can use apply and evaluate. Create, we have to think of, unless and until we have extremely unique or different project, we cannot use the create level. So some of the examples I have, there are a lot of examples due to time constraint. I'm just winding up. One of the example, if you see the course outcome, we will write like this. What is this 301? C301 is a subject code, and there should be maximum 5 to 6 course outcomes. Either you can do it unit wise or you can write it Bloom's taxonomy wise. So here it is a diploma college example I've taken, basics of electrical and electronic engineering. What they've written: to understand the concept, to summarize the working principle, to understand. Because diploma level, if you see, they have 90% only on remember and understand. And they have 10% only on analysis and evaluate and create. If you see graduation, engineering or any graduate, it should be 60% on remember, understand and apply, and 40% on analysis, evaluate and create. If it is a post-graduation program, then I can say 70% we can have on remember, understand and apply, and sorry, it should be wrong. It is wrong. It should be 50-50. If you go to the post-graduation, it should be 50-50. 50% on analysis, understanding and the basic level, and higher order level, it should be 50%. Like your create, evaluate, analysis, 50%. It should be 50-50. It will be lesser in graduation. It will be least in diploma colleges. So they have written some constructing something and then explaining the principles. So this is also not in a proper order, but you can see the structure, how the course outcomes are written. So we can write first and remember, understand, and then apply, and then analyze, then evaluate and create. That way. So if you can see, this diagram seems to be complex, but it's very simple. As we discussed, first the vision of the institute, then the mission of the institute, which will be in a multiple bulleted points, then we are writing the POs, which we are measuring after 3 years of graduation, which we are writing in points. Then we have seen the graduate attributes, the 12 attributes of the graduate, Cuddy meets Tommy, and then COs, the course outcomes, how we have to write, we have seen. Okay, so everything CO has to align with POs, PO has to align with PUs. In between, we have seen PSOs also. PO have to align with PSOs. PSOs have to align with PUs. PUs have to align with mission. Mission have to align with vision. That's all. So we have learning activity, we have assessment, we have intended course outcomes. So these are all the graduate attributes we discussed. So I think the outcome of this session, I wanted to discuss on the need of outcome-based education, then how to coin the institute's vision and mission, department vision and mission, then program educational objectives, program specific outcomes, program outcomes, then Bloom's taxonomy and course outcomes. Hope for the time and the topic, I was able to do the justice. Any deliberations, any questions?
Participants, if you have any questions or if you want to share your views, you may raise your hand. So will you rights to unmute yourself?
Thank you, sir.
Actually, it is quite interesting because while writing COs, it's always a kind of circus, which is to be written. What will be the sequence? Either it is chapter wise or it should be written overall as per the Bloom's taxonomy. So when we had a discussion like this, they used to say it is never-ended discussion.
There are two formats normally people are doing. One is unit wise, they do it, sir. In that unit, what is given. So accordingly, they map it. Or the best practices, you have to write Bloom's taxonomy wise. So while framing the syllabus also, if they consider this aspect and frame, it will be easy for us to map.
And many times, if the person who is evaluating the COPO means let's say professor or professor grade person or from industry, they might be not aware about the content which we consider. It is there in the syllabus. So sometimes it is kind of long discussion that why we kept this, why not this, why that. I think Bhavin sir, you have a question?
Yes, sir.
Please unmute. Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah. Madam, if you can guide, suppose I'm preparing a teaching scheme, understanding, analyzing, evaluating for students for the competitive exams.
Okay.
So what happens is that we face most of the questions in the range of analysis or evaluating. So how should we arrange if I'm preparing a course paper, how should I arrange all these parameters?
Okay.
What weightage should I give?
So for the competitive exam you're talking about, right, sir?
Yeah, competitive exam placement drives, etc. Yes, ma'am.
Right. Yeah, perfect question, sir. Perfect question. So we can organize it in Bloom's taxonomy level. First is they have to remember the core formula, because aptitude or competitive exam, they have to know the basic formula if you want to solve the mathematical questions, reasoning questions and all that. So they have to remember the mathematical formula, they have to understand, and then they can apply it, because normally we say that they have to map the answer with the question in the competitive exam.
Right.
If they keep reading the question and then compare the answer, it won't work out. So first you can say, remember all the formula, then understand the question, and then apply the answer to the question. Okay, and then evaluate the best answer and solve it. So it will be better to write in the taxonomical order.
Right.
Course outcome.
Right. Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Any questions from any participants? Or anytime for any of your subjects, any queries you have, you can please write to me. I'll just share my contact. Or we can have a deliberation also, how to write a CO for your own subject.
Yes.
because when we implemented it 6 to 7 years ago, we attended a 2-3 days workshop, but it took 1 year for us to understand the implementation completely. A lot of practical issues. When the faculty are reluctant because of the tedious procedure in the continuous internal evaluation. But later we automized the system. Now it is into practice. Yeah.
Okay, I think there.
No more questions.
No
Yeah.
more questions in the chat box. Everyone is
Okay.
yeah, very useful and informative session. Yes, thank you very much. Thank you very much, ma'am, for this. I would say that whatever the objectives you have set for this session, those are achieved. At least 80% we are able to get what you discussed, because these are the points which are very everyone used to practice this in daily life here in academics. So those are very important points to discuss, ma'am. Yes, if there are any certain discussion, we'll come back to you, ma'am. Thank you very much for accepting our invitation, and we hope we will have in-person meeting here in Marwadi University. We'll have one more session based on it. So thank you very much, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you for this opportunity, sir. Really, it was good gesture that you invited me for this. I enjoyed, and I have excellent delegates also, an interactive audience. I would say rather being a post-lunch session. So I thought initially they won't be participative, but I could see a lot of messages in the chat and acknowledgement also. I thank everyone for for the active participation. I thank the organization also, Marwadi University, and the team who have organized this STTP, lined up with excellent speakers. Congratulations to you, sir, and thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Namaste.
Namaste, sir. Thank you all.
Okay, then participants, thank you very much for your presence and active participation. So we have completed our 3 sessions of day 3. So we will meet tomorrow sharp at 10:30 a.m. So looking forward to have your further interaction in the next upcoming session as well. So thank you very much, everyone. Thank you.